Hello everyone, welcome to one of our e-learning courses in the EJD Food Science project. The topic for today is basic brewing calculations for the home brewers. The course was prepared by Jonas Trummer, who is one of our PhD students. Hello Jonas, nice to see you and hear you, hopefully.
Hello, Alexander.
And please tell us something about yourself, introduce yourself, tell us what's your background, and so that the students who are going to watch it and learn from it know who is the teacher.
Thanks a lot, Alexander. Yes, a little bit about myself. My name is Jonas Trummer. I'm actually a studied brewing scientist, and I studied brewing science at the Technical University in Munich for 6 years, and afterwards I was actually working in a middle-sized, medium-sized brewery in Germany before I was applying and successfully taken into the EJD, the European Joint Doctorate Food Science project. So now I'm really happy that I was able to prepare an e-learning course, and I hope this practical e-learning course will help and benefit to a lot of home brewers, most especially.
Okay, thank you very much. So please tell us why you came up with this idea. How did you get into the calculations? Why this topic is important in your opinion?
Yes, as I said, I got a lot of practical knowledge in brewing, but also as a home brewer, as I was starting to brew myself when I was 15 years old. So I have like home brewing knowledge of around 18 years. And calculations is always something that home brewers would like to avoid, but is of course not something that you can avoid. So my thinking was, what could be a practical thing to give to brewers, and especially to home brewers, which are rising numbers of brewers in the world, and a highly interested topic is of course the calculations in home brewing, and not only small scale but all the different scales possible. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. But as you say, you've had a long experience now in home brewing. You started when you were very young, and I bet that you didn't do any calculations in the very beginning. The first thing that the home brewers usually do is using the online calculators that are available, and they are doing their job. But now, how would you encourage the home brewers that are using the calculators up till now to put some effort, take the course, and try to be able to do the calculations themselves? Why can't this be needed?
Yes, that's a really good view on the whole calculation side, because these calculation editors, these home pages for home brewers, but also for bigger brewers, exist, and there are a lot of them out there. And as I said, 15 years ago when I started home brewing, internet was not that fast, but there were already some calculation home pages. All of them have their reason that they are there, and everyone is putting a lot of effort in those. But not everyone that is creating a homepage like that has also the knowledge what he's actually putting in there. So everyone that's using those needs to know that maybe the formulas and the equations used are not correct and are not really 100% precise. In order to have a precise calculation and a nice working and production in your home, it's always better to know the calculations yourself and to know exactly which parameters you are using. And therefore, I would always advise everyone to be able to do calculations and to be able to know all the parameters that need to get into an equation.
Mm-hmm. Another situation that is worth pointing out here is that the calculations that we can obtain from the online calculators are always or often good and are working well when everything goes smooth. And you can say that, and and many homebrewers also experience this in their experience that they've got so far, that not always everything goes smooth. So how about this, when you encounter a situation when something goes wrong, when and how those abilities to do the calculations on your own can help you?
Exactly, and this is the point where the knowledge about all the different parameters come together. Because if you have an equation for the water amount, or if you have a calculation for a hop utility or hop yield, you need to know exactly which parameters are coming in there. If you're boiling a hop for 65 minutes instead of 55, or 90 minutes instead of 60, which is just to maybe a problem that encounters you during the process, then you will be able, with reading and learning these basic calculations, to recalculate your formulas, recalculate your values, and then you will know what exactly changed and to which side it changed. So it's really important to know these facts, to know your values and parameters.
Okay, great, thanks. So now to come to the conclusions, please try to encourage the potential readers, the potential viewers, and tell us what's in your course, what's the content. Do you cover just the brew house calculations, the load of the malt or the hops, or did you go through the whole process in your course?
Yes, the content about of the basic calculations is mostly focused on the brew house, but it's not only stopping there. We're also going further into fermentations and carbonization, but mostly we're focused on the brew house, and there we're starting not only from vessel sizes, from the water amounts, from which losses are possible, which evaporation losses, which beer losses you need to focus on sparging water, on the main mashing water, on how much water you're gonna lose in your spent grains.
Mm-hmm.
And then furthermore, of course, into the boiling, how the hop yield is calculated, and then of course going into the cooling and fermentation, and really short into carbonization. So mostly all of it together is focused on in these basic calculations. Yes.
Okay. That sounds like a very useful piece of information that you've provided in your course. Thanks a lot. And now, as the last question, please share with the audience if you really use those calculations still in your life, how you use them, if they really come handy, and what they gave you in your brewing and the brewer's experience.
Yes, it is true. I'm still using these calculations, and as I said before, I was in a lot of breweries before. I was working in different breweries, and I have education in brewing science where you learn how to do these calculations, and you learn it because there's a reason to learn those. And now that the European Joint Doctorate is finished, I'm lucky enough to call myself a brewmaster of a new brewery. And even here, in the Browa Górniczo Hutniczy in Krakow, I'm always using these calculations whenever there's a new recipe that needs to be done, when there's a new hop variety, when there's a new hop harvest, because always, as I said, values and parameters are changing. So you need to focus on these calculations, and once you learn them, you will remember them, and they will be always helpful. If it's in home brewing or small scale brewing, also in big breweries, they will be helpful for you.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a very important thing you pointed out. The calculations seem always a little scary and not very pleasant in the beginning, but as you go along and you use them more often, they just come very natural, and it's much easier to handle them after some trials done and some brews conducted. Okay, thank you very much for the course, Jonas. I hope everyone enjoys it. If you have any questions, I hope that Jonas will be open and available for you to ask and solve some problems. Jonas, please confirm if that's the case.
Thanks a lot, Alexander. Yes, of course, if there are questions, I'm more than happy to answer emails, and I will be available also still through the Facebook European Joint Doctorate page and through my HID Futsal fan page.
Okay, thank you very much. So enjoy the course and please follow our webpage, our Facebook page, and follow our ESRs for further information and the updates. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.
Bye, thank you.